You're not valuable because you're a good person. Same as being a good person is not going to get you into heaven. You're valuable because Jesus came and died for you. And God made you perfectly in his image. And so it's not about religion. It's about relationship. You need to actively pray and speak to Jesus in order for him to know you. You don't want to get to the end of the line and have him say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." I know Jesus is real because I've seen me with him and I've seen me without him, and it's a night and day difference. With him, I feel peace and happiness that stems from so deep within me that nobody can take that away from me. Without him, I am nothing. And with him, I have everything. The Bible says, do not be afraid. And the difference between fear and faith is that fear is what if, and faith is even if. So you can sit there and say, oh, what if I lose everything? Or you can sit there and say, even if I lose everything, I know that I still have God, and so I have everything that I need. And the more you build your relationship with him, the more you build your faith in him. And I've learned firsthand that this is the only way to fill that void in your heart. And if you're at rock bottom right now, hopefully I can help you realize that Jesus Christ is the rock at the bottom. He's the absolutely only thing that can fill that void. If you're feeling misdirected, like you don't know which way to go with your life right now, I just want to remind you that you're not the pilot. You're a co-creator. What are you doing? Holy, you're cruising. Yeah, you didn't realize I walked away, huh? You're funny. Yeah, so get out of the driver's seat and get into the passenger seat, because you're the co-pilot and God is the pilot. He is living outside of time and space when you're locked into it. And so he's already got the path laid out for you from beginning till end. And so when you're sitting there trying to figure out which way to go, what move to do next, or what decision to make next, you're trying to lean on your own understanding, and you don't even know where you're going. Sure, you might know what you want out of life, but you don't know how or when you're gonna get there. So trusting in God's timing is everything. And leaning on his understanding is everything. And there's a real sense of relief in letting go of trying to figure it all out and just letting him take the wheel. Because, like, yes, you need to do the work, but you gotta trust in him to get you to where you gotta go. A friend of mine told me this interesting analogy today involving a GPS. And so when you're using a GPS, you type in the destination and then you trust the GPS to take you to that place. You don't know what route it's going to give you, but you trust that it's going to get you there. And so the destination, and so your desires are the destination. And you got to trust in God to bring you there in order to fulfill that. But doing the work means you still got to turn the car on and press the gas pedal to move and make the effort of traveling and making your way forward. I want to talk about the story of Joseph. So God gave Joseph a vision, and Joseph told his brothers about it. So the vision was that he was going to rule and his brothers were going to be bowing. His brothers got jealous and casted him out into slavery in Egypt. Upon being a slave, the person who he was a slave for had a wife who tried to seduce him. But he said, "No, I'm not doing this," and fled from the situation. And so the wife took his garment of clothing and went to the husband and said that Joseph tried to seduce me. And in turn, Joseph got imprisoned for it. Sorry, it's hot. It's hot out here. Upon imprisonment, Joseph met somebody who had a dream, and Joseph interpreted it for him. Joseph told this guy, "Don't forget me when you get out." But unfortunately, when this guy got out, he forgot all about Joseph. And so many years went by, and Pharaoh came to this guy with a dream, and this guy said, "Oh wait, I know someone who can interpret this for you because he interpreted a dream for me." So Pharaoh went to see Joseph, and Joseph interpreted his dream for him, and Pharaoh was so impressed with him that he took him out of prison and allowed him to rule by his side. Some time went by, and Joseph's brothers came to Pharaoh looking for food, and when they realized who was feeding them, they realized that it was Joseph. And they thought Joseph was gonna want revenge and retaliate on them for what they did. But instead, he forgave them, and he said, "What you meant was out of evil, but what God meant was of good." But the point of this story is that he spent all that time after receiving his vision as a slave and then in prison. And many years went by, but instead he never lost faith. But Joseph never lost faith. He trusted in God's timing, and his vision came true. So again, I just want to say that it's so important that you trust in God's timing and you lean on his understanding, because you don't really know the route of how you're getting to where you're going to fulfill your desires. But all you got to do is trust and have faith that you're going to get there. And even if things don't go perfectly and they don't happen when you want them to happen, you just got to know that along the way, during the process of it, you have God, and so you have all that you need. And that should allow you to detach from the outcome and enjoy the journey. I'm going to cut it here, but with that being said, have faith. Open your heart to Jesus, because he's waiting for you with open arms to believe in him and to get to know him. So I love you, and God bless.